So my fiance and I have been on the lookout for a kitten to accompany our 3-month-old kitten we have already. We searched and searched until one day he said to me, "Let's look on Craigslist." So I did. We found the perfect one, but the only problem was it was 2 hours and 30 minutes away from our home. I inquired about it at around 10:30 p.m. I know it was late, but almost immediately I got a response. She sounded very nice over text and asked to see where I lived so that she would feel settled about the kitten living with us. She also insisted on going to their house. I know I should have just dropped it at that time. I thought nothing of it, so I sent them a video. We set up a time for the next day to meet. Next day came. I wasn't going to take my fiance, but he insisted on coming with me because he wanted to be my protection in case, since Craigslist is sketchy. So we drove 2 hours and 30 minutes on our way. There, as we were on our way, I was texting this girl that we would get there on time, and she responded, "Great, see you then." We arrived to the home, me in the driver's seat and my fiance in the passenger seat. With the window down, I texted the girl and got no response. I called and no response. I ended up calling about 5 times and texting in the course of an hour and no response. I went up to the house and knocked on the door. Nothing. There was a car in the driveway, but no response from the number or the door. We got there at 6:30 and waited until almost 8. Nothing. The neighbor came out asking what was wrong. I said, "I'm here since I inquired about a kitten." And she said, "A kitten?" I said, "Yes, it was a Craigslist ad." She said, "No one has kittens in this home." Though I showed her the ad, she said, "Oh, I know them. They are very sketchy people, and they don't own any cats. I just helped them move their furniture yesterday." So I said, "Well, on their ad it says that they have to get rid of their kittens since their new place doesn't allow pets." So the neighbor said, "That's impossible. I have a dog." And so does the neighbor next door. Over. I immediately found this creepy and assumed the neighbor was also in on something, since it was too creepy and I was feeling anxious. I thanked her and I left along with my fiance. Literally immediately when we pulled out of the street, I got a text from a girl saying, "I'm just now getting your messages. Something must be wrong with me phone. Did you still want the kitten or no?" I didn't answer and we headed back home. What I don't understand is they didn't get any money from me, but they asked me to show up. Not knowing I'd be with my fiance, I had a bad feeling about it. What did they want from me? I've been looking to sell my car before the summer is over, so I took to Facebook and Craigslist to find potential buyers in the area who were willing to take it off my hands. I posted my ad on Facebook Marketplace, which is essentially Craigslist for Facebook, where you can buy and sell products around your approximated location. I figured it would be the perfect place to find someone near me who was in the market for an old fixer-upper. My piece of junk, that is. I should add at this point that I'm a 22-year-old woman, and on Marketplace, obviously, you post from your Facebook account, so whoever sees my post can go to my profile to message me. Unfortunately, unlike Craigslist, people knew exactly who I was before they were buying. I had several people interested, so I answered them in order. And the first person just so happened to be an older woman. From her page, she looked harmless, so I thought it would be no problem. I was busy for a few days, so I told her I'd get back to her soon, and she said okay. Her last message to me said, "That's fine, let me know Thursday, Bill." A little weird, but I thought maybe her husband was messaging me for her from her account, or maybe it was even a typo. Who knows? I gave her the benefit of doubt. On Thursday, I got a random message from another account a man who we'll call Bill. He messaged me the same exact message as she did the day before, which was something along the lines of interested. When can I come see it? I put two and two together and realized that woman signed Bill on her last message the day before, and I figured it was her husband now contacting me from his own account. I asked if he was the one who messaged me from her account the day before, and he confirmed saying that was his wife, who had passed away back in March. Strange, but everyone has their own way of coping at this point. I felt bad for the guy, and there weren't really any alarm bells going off other than that it was slightly weird. He was contacting me from his dead wife's Facebook. It was also weird that his Facebook didn't have any photos of himself, just his backyard as his profile picture and cover photo. I chalked it up to him being older and not caring about social media. He ended up saying he liked to see the car, and we scheduled a day for him to come look at it. Unfortunately, I had to give him my house address because the car's brakes are not in working order, and the car isn't insured, so I couldn't take it on the road to somewhere nearby to meet up. Regardless, I was still not too worried because my boyfriend and his mother were at the house. I lived with them in the summertime, so I thought if push came to shove, there would be someone there to meditate. He was supposed to come at 3:30, but 3:30 came and went without him showing up. He said he lived in the town about a half hour away, so we waited a little while after to see if maybe he would come late. I was pissed for a while because he just wasted my time confirming he wanted to see my car and possibly buy it. And he stood me up without explanation. Around 4, I gave up and started playing some games on my laptop. My boyfriend, blessed his soul, still kept watch over the driveway to see if Bill would come out after all. Suddenly, he had an urgency in his voice. Alyssa, I think that's him. I got up and ran to the window just in time to see a small car with an unknown driver and a young man in the front seat pull away from the front of our driveway. Apparently, the car pulled in front of the house and sat there for several seconds before driving away, and I just caught the tail end of it. I live on a quiet-sized street of a pretty safe suburban neighborhood, so it most likely wasn't some random driver who just so happened to be passing by. They were definitely in front of the house waiting for a man. My boyfriend looked disturbed and kept repeating that he was sure it was them and that they got cold feet. We all thought it was weird that they would drive a half hour only to leave. My boyfriend's mother said she thought it was because they thought they could get me, a vulnerable young woman, alone, and that they sped away once they saw that there were several cars in the driveway. One of the cars was the one I was selling to, and it looked exactly like in the photos I posted on Marketplace, so I was sure the car wasn't the issue. The most disturbing thing to me was the fact that there were two people in the car, and at least one of them looked like he was capable of doing something. Should I have been alone? Thank God in hindsight that there were several people home, or the situation definitely could have escalated. I really, really wish I hadn't given them my address, and I can only hope that those people don't ever come back. Hello everyone. I've always wanted to post my story here, but I'm not very articulated, so I haven't done it until now. I want to tell my story because hopefully it can stop young girls or boys from being harmed. By the way, my name is Sarah. So when I was 17 years old, my family and myself moved to a new area, which meant I had to quit my old job. I always wanted to work to be able to support my coffee and shopping addiction, so I was very eager to find a new job, but this time I wanted something that paid more. I thought I was way too smart to accept minimum wage, so I started applying to be a receptionist at some vet clinics in the area and some other low-level receptionist jobs. I don't know why I thought I would be able to get a job like this while in high school. All I can say is I was an ambitious kid. I was on Indeed and would also drive to locations to fill out applications, but I wasn't getting any calls back, so I became frustrated and turned to Craigslist. My mother told me over and over again to not go on that website, and I watched the Craigslist killer movie. I knew how stupid this was, but I was 17, so I thought I was invincible. I applied at a few more receptionist jobs in vet clinics that I made sure were reputable places. I received one call regarding my Craigslist applications. It was from a man who sounded very professional and told me that he had just started a company and needed a receptionist, which already sent red flags off in my mind because I had not filed out an application for any new companies. I asked him what the name of the company was, and he dodged my question. But I was still very interested. I wanted to make good money. He told me that I had a really nice voice, which I thought was good because if I was going to be working as a receptionist, I should have a good phone call voice. He also said that I was beautiful, which I blushed at the time. He told me that he would love to meet for an interview that day. And I was very interested. I grabbed a pen and paper and asked him where his company was. He said that he hadn't moved into their building yet, which was a little strange, but I said, no problem, where would you like to meet? I'll have my mom drive me. And he started to act a little off when I mentioned my mother. He said, no need to bother your mother, I'll pick you up. That sentence was the point where I knew I was talking to a bad guy. But I still tried to reason it in my head because I really wanted this job. I had been applying for months and this was the first call I received, so I said to him, no, that's okay, my mom will drive me. She wouldn't want me getting into a car with a man I don't know. And that's when he started telling me that the only way we could do it is if he could pick me up. He started getting annoyed and said that there were so many women applying for this job, so he needed to get an answer as soon as possible. He also started telling me all the opportunities I would be missing out on. At that point, I was very conflicted and asked if I could give him a call back in a moment, and he said yes. But don't make me wait. I hung up the phone and was relieved to be done with that conversation. I went to my mom's room and explained everything to her, and she lost her mind. She said, Sarah, that guy is some pervert. Don't call him back. And then she proceeded to look up the police station number because she wanted to report him to the police. I was embarrassed and begged her not to. He proceeded to call me over and over again. After I had him respond, I didn't want to talk to him again, so I texted him and said no thank you to the offer. He lost his mind. I received so many texts along the lines of, dumb bitch. I have so much money I could have taken care of you. I don't know where you live, etc. For weeks after this incident, I felt so guilty because I thought I put my entire family's life in jeopardy. I had a hard time sleeping and rejected any interviews immediately because I thought they could have been him using another person to bait me out of my house. I wish that I would have allowed my mom to call the police because I think he was going to do something really messed up.